Now, Tuesday is Technology Day on this programme, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Professor of Cyber Security, Professor Kevin Kern with Ulster University. Hello, Kevin.
Good afternoon, Colin.
Now, we start today's talk, Kevin, with Twitter. Twitter's been in the news quite a lot recently with Elon Musk and sacking people and changing the whole structure of the thing. But today, you want to talk about the blue tick relaunch. First of all, tell us what blue tick is.
Yeah, blue tick, traditionally, it signifies someone as being actually real behind the account. So if you see Donald Trump, he would have a blue tick behind his account before he was banned, for instance. But Twitter actually opened this up so you can actually pay for verification now. And again, they've added on a few features. It's still $8 a month, but you can also have an edit button, and they say that you'll see less ads, really. So there's a few extra, things you get for that, of course. But it's caused real controversy because it means that anyone can now claim to be someone. Anyone could claim to be me with a blue tick, for instance, So it remains to be seen how feasible it is for them to keep doing this and to just allow people to buy their verification on Twitter.
So you don't really have to verify it yourself or provide proof. You could say, I could say I'm Professor Kevin Kern, and they just accept that if I pay the fee. Is that the way it works?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's that simple, really. There is no barriers to entry. And again, there was real controversy when they took away the verification there, last month, for instance. There was a US pharmaceutical firm, Eli Lilly, and they tweeted insulin is free. And then this caused the real firm's share prices to tumble. So they had to go back on and say, look, that wasn't us, where insulin is still, under license.
Let me ask you this, Kevin. Do you think Elon Musk has a plan for Twitter, or is he making it up as he goes along?
It's hard to know, in some ways he's just having fun, it could be seen, but it remains to be seen, whether people adopt this here, but they still have a lot of money to claw back, and really, most people do not pay for social media, so this will still be a niche part of their platform, that they aim to have 50% of their revenue come from subscriptions, but really it all comes from ads at the moment, so it remains to be seen how many people will pay for social media. People tend to just accept that we're giving away information, but, no one really wants to pay for it.
Well, we'll keep our eye on Twitter because, as I say, it's changing almost daily, the things that are happening on it, so we will keep our eye on it. Let's move on, though, to Apple iPhones. Apparently, you can turn your phone now into an emergency satellite phone here in the UK and elsewhere. What does that mean?
Yeah, so Apple, again, you have to have an iPhone 14, their latest model and above, because that's got the electronics on it. But it means now that if you were in an emergency and there was no cell signal whatsoever, and there was obviously no Wi-Fi, that you can press, you can do it by 5 repeated taps on your button to call emergency SOS, and it'll connect to a satellite overhead, and it guides you how to do it, where to point your phone at the sky, and literally it will send a message then to the emergency. They have these public safety access points, 300 centers, for instance, in America, where people's phones actually, because emergency centers are not set up for SMSs, someone has to literally phone. So again, that if you were somewhere where there was absolutely no Wi-Fi signal, you have an emergency, you can use a satellite to relay a request. And it's quite good, because if you go into your settings on your iPhone, which you should do, and look at your emergency SOS contacts, for instance, it's a good thing to update them, because actually my late partner, I found out this morning, was still my nominated SOS emergency contact. So I've changed that, but it will send that information to the authorities as well. But again, it's not for. Again, you can also, if you were somewhere where you had no signal either, you can also use emergency SOS. Use the Find Me app actually to send your location to your friends. So that they would know where you were, for instance.
So this is only on the new Apple iPhone 14 then?
It is, yeah. You have to have any of the new iPhone 14s. I mean, it'll obviously be in the later, any new models coming out again. But no, it has to be on the new phones from Apple again. And it's an Apple product again. Android don't do this as such. But of course, Apple do many subscriptions again.
I must tell you this story before we move on. I have got a wee pup last year, and he had a liking to sort of taking things and running with them and taking them around the garden and chewing them and destroying them and that sort of thing, as pups do. He took my iPhone last year out into the garden, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and eventually spotted him out in the middle of the garden with the iPhone. He had somehow, and I don't know how he did it, but he had somehow managed to activate the SOS signal in it. It's not an iPhone 13, so it was just the ordinary one, and there was someone on the phone saying, "Hello, can I help you?" So keep your iPhones away from wee dogs. They're not good. Now, this next subject, I really want to find out a lot about it, because I have friends in America that I contact using WhatsApp all the time, and contacts in the Republic of Ireland and all over the world, really, and I contact using WhatsApp. But if this new law passes, apparently WhatsApp is going to have a problem in the UK.
Yes, possibly, yeah, because there's a controversial online safety bill being pushed through Parliament again. So basically, what the UK Parliament want to do is force WhatsApp to stop using their end-to-end encryption, so that they're able to scan for child sex images or whatever, child sexual abuse material. Again, so at the moment they can't do it, because when you have a conversation with someone on WhatsApp, it's end-to-end encrypted. So not even WhatsApp can see what your DMs are, your messages are, or whatever you're saying. All they can see is actually who you're communicating with, but they can't see anything about your, so it really is, you have privacy from your phone to someone else's phone using WhatsApp again. But so to be able to scan for known child sexual abuse material again, this would give the Ofcom actually the power to force companies to use technology to scan for any private channels for any child sexual abuse material. But anyone in cybersecurity says this is a terrible idea, because it just makes everyone more vulnerable, because it takes away our end-to-end encryption, and that allows criminals and hackers ways into our systems again. So really, they're taking a sledgehammer to kill a fly. Really, there's other ways that they can defeat child sexual abuse material online, but really, this is not the way to do it.
So is WhatsApp saying they will withdraw their UK service if this happens?
They will. Again, WhatsApp are controlled by Meta, which is Facebook, really. And they say that they will. Now, there's precedent for this, because 8 years ago, about, the Spanish government tried to force Google News to tax news engines, really. But what they did, Google News pulled out of Spain, actually, and the news outlets, again, actually lost complete revenue. So they've had to move back there lately, and they've changed the Spanish law. So Google have gone back into the territory. But again, WhatsApp would, because they can't, there's only one WhatsApp. So they're not going to make a model for the UK where no end-to-end encryption on it again, whereas, there's about 40 million users in the UK. Yeah. Again, that's a big number, but it's only about 2% of their overall. They have 2 billion worldwide. So of course they will withdraw from the UK market. If this goes ahead, because really, again, it doesn't solve the thing. People might say, well, surely that's a good thing to be able to scan for these known sexual abuse material. Again, so in an ideal world, we would be able to do that, but not when you remove end-to-end encryption. So no one has end-to-end encryption, security, privacy over the wire from one end to the other end again. So, and again, criminals would also change the images. There's other ways around all this again. So even though they think it's a use case that they'll be able to capture every single image sent, no, they won't. The pedophiles will be able to change the way the images are constructed and different hashtags and whatever else, and they'll go to other portals anyway. So in other words, WhatsApp will be left with all of us not end-to-end encrypted in the UK, and then the pedophiles have gone off to other forums and other ways and channels of using it. So.
Well, you mentioned there that Meta, who owns Facebook, owns WhatsApp, but you can also make calls and text with their messenger service. Will that be affected?
No, their messenger service is different. Again, it's just a different encryption scheme in there. So again, they haven't gone into that avenue as well. So it's possible that the government might go after Meta, and every other, but. It is possible that the government might actually go down that avenue as well, and then they might actually say, well, no, we can't do that either in that case. So then they might put up a stance on that one as well. I can't see them removing, because they have moved to a more encrypted model using messaging as well. But I can't see them going back to a plain, unencrypted end-to-end communication.
Professor Kevin Curran, thank you very much. Very, very informative.